I know you're still awake, I feel it too. We seek the answer to 1,000 things that don't make any sense. It's time we had a reckoning. It's ugly but true.
So my name is Martin Virago from Metalops, and you are Kenny from Carnival from Perth. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you my first question about music style. So Carnival music blends progressive rock and metal with elements of alternative experimental music. Carnival is recognized for polyrhythmic and technical drumming, melodic guitar work, thoughtful and introspective lyrics. Your main influences are Tool, Meshuggah, Deftones, and Soundgarden, if I'm right, okay? So why choose this kind of music, this music style?
I think it's a style that's formed over many years. I think when we first started writing, stuff that we thought was okay, like maybe stuff just before Thermata, or we were just interested in heavy music, to be honest, alternate heavy music and things that moved a slightly different way, I guess, as opposed to straight up metal or straight up rock. Just things that kind of hit you a little differently. So I think we've always been interested in that, and of course we have a love for melody. Sitting above weighted music, heavy music, that sort of dance between the male and the feminine harmonic shifting stuff. So yeah, I don't know, just something that was a little outside the box, I guess. I don't think we intended to be a prog rock band, but we became one.
Okay. Okay, and what are you listening? Which bands are you listening those days?
In the very beginning, it would have been things like in the very beginning, like Nine Inch Nails and yeah, Soundgarden for sure, Tool, things like that, um, and heavy stuff like early Slipknot, Meshuggah,
Yeah.
things like that. Because they were like such heavy music, but it had groove, it has feel. I think that's what was like really interesting, and there, even though and there's a dynamic in a lot of that sort of stuff as opposed to just sort of barreling along through a tunnel of just like chaos and whatnot. There's layers that are interesting, but yeah, that was the early day sort of stuff. I think that's what we listened to, and other bits of Radiohead, massive Radiohead back at the time. Still a huge Radiohead fan, still influenced by things that Radiohead do. A very, very cool band.
Okay, and nowadays, what are you listening? Always these bands or different bands?
Yeah, listen to all different types of stuff. Um, heavy stuff, all sorts of different things. Not so much prog stuff. I'm a bit out of touch, if I'm being honest. Um, I don't know. Listen, like sometimes listen to a bunch of country, kind of new wave country, singer-songwriter sort of stuff. Purely because I'm in love with storytelling at the moment, and why people choose to tell their story and how they tell it. And I love being able to capture someone's imagination and, be able to say something that they might relate to, and that can act as like a time machine sometimes to transport you around. Yeah, it's pretty crazy when you get those things right. So it's just good songwriters, good lyricists, or what I consider good lyricists. There's a band from Australia called the Drones, with a singer there called Gareth Lydiard, and some of his stuff's great. And they're a really tripped out band. He's got another band called Tropical Fuckstorm, which are pretty good as well. So yeah, just random weird shit.
Okay. So I think you released 4 albums in 21 years, 4 studio albums. For the first one was in 2005, and 2009, 2013, and the next one is 2026. It's called In Verses. So why such a long gap between the last one, Asymmetry, 2013, and the next album, the next release, 2026?
Well, because we're mental and we're stubborn and we just push through. We just kept going, even though there were months and years where we just couldn't make it work in that period. We were just stubborn enough and pig-headed enough to just push on through it to get it to here. But yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot in that. A lot happened in those 13 years. There was a lot of unexpected things that came our way. There was a lot of life. There was changes. There was a lot of mental health up and downs. Yeah, so a long time to make a record. We weren't working on it full time. There were literally, God, years there where we just had to put it down because it wasn't working, and we had to step away and reapproach
Okay.
the whole thing. Yeah, because we realized it was costing, a bit too much, and you got to reapproach the whole thing. But yeah, I don't know. I don't recommend it. I don't ever take 13 years to do anything. It's not good for your head.
Okay. So the band is widely praised for their live performances. And I know you played in Hellfest 2024. How was it?
Hellfest was awesome. That was, I think, one of the best looking festivals we played on that run. Hellfest has all these it's laid out really well. It's set up very well. Had all these really cool structures. Or maybe the festival owns them. I don't know, but really cool looking festival. It was fun. I got to see Fear Factory play. I haven't seen Fear Factory play in years. And they were great. And that kind of brought me back to my younger Fear Factory self. Yeah, it was cool. It was real cool.
Okay. Okay.
These poisonous snakes hide in the weeds patiently. We're not guilty. They just bought the jury. This conviction is so meaningless. Anonymously, in all honesty, I wouldn't show them you care. I'd be so still and quiet like death was around. Quiet like death was around. You've been holding up, and I did this fatal, this beautiful distraction moves.
Now we're going to concentrate on the lyrics. So your lyrics are often circle around pressure without naming its source. When, for instance, writing about control or power, are you protecting something personal, or is it for the listener to take place and they can feel that they can take the lyrics for themselves? Yeah, I don't know if you or you invite them to place their own meaning there? What is it? Is it more personal or is it both actually?
It's both actually. I think because carnivals frame the music, the framework, uh, it's pretty obscure shit, right? It's different, right? Like I feel it's very different. So it allows you to paint a little bit differently in the lyrics, and especially with the melody, finding the right choice of notes to land in a certain emotional place will sometimes dictate a lyric. And sometimes you just go with what feels right there and then, and seems to be working for the part. And sometimes that lyric doesn't really mean much. It's the ones that follow that will tie it all together. Always write lyrics in bits and pieces. They sort of just come to me in bits and pieces, or the lads will throw in other ideas. So some of it's left up to the imagination, and I kind of like that because it's left to it's obscurity. Like it can be whatever, and a lot of the time you put down what you think is the right thing or what feels good, and then this happens on Carnival Records all the time. The lyrics for us as a band, we'll understand them after the fact, and they hit us in some truly profound ways. Sometimes actually, it's a fucking crazy science. I don't know what it's called or how it even happens, but yeah, it's pretty wild.
Okay. And in some other songs, we can feel a sense of resistance. Um, it's usually sometimes quiet and more internal. Is that close to how you experience resilience in your real life, for instance?
Uh, Resilience. I don't really. I guess so. I guess there is reflection of our real selves in our music, but I also think
Mm.
in our music, it's a chance to live a bit more of a hyper real world in there, and a little bit of fantasy. So maybe we lean in a bit harder to themes like that in our music. I think the resilience in that you might be hearing maybe on the new stuff is our resilience to not folding when the pressure was too much, because trying to make parts of this record where the pressure was intense, like to try and find the right fucking way forward, like it was just really tough. So I'm glad there was the resilience was there. It allowed us to push through and get to the end of this thing, and get it the way we wanted. This record is the way it was meant to be. Yeah, I think if we tried to push it a different way, we would have ended up with quite a different record. I don't think it would be as good.
Almost had the honesty to say we've done it all. To lie and cheat and blacklit rooms instead of being whole. Jump off ship and let me feel the fall. Know that I will release me. Someday you will, someday you won't, someday you will get by. Someday you will, someday you won't, someday you will deny the illusion of hope. When there can be no result, how will we know at all? There's nothing here that can change us.
How has your relationship with hope changed over time, from something you fight for to something you carry more calmly now? Is there an evolution um, in your vocal delivery?
All right. maybe. Yeah, maybe. I definitely think a bit deeper each time we go into a record about maybe what needs to be there vocally. I always feel like my job as a vocalist in Carnival is to stitch transitions and parts together and be the glue, like some emotional sort of glue, just on the surface of it all. Um, and yeah, I do labour fairly hard on choice of notes, and sometimes I get lucky, and it's the first thing that comes out. And you got to listen to that a lot. I reckon anybody who's writing probably feels the same. You just trust your gut on a lot of it and go, "Fuck, it's good." Yeah, and hope that it gives hope to to the song. So yeah, I don't think much has changed in that, apart from the fact that I do labour a bit on it, and the band does too. Like everyone's got their kind of input into that for different parts. Hence why it took 13 years.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so let's talk about the new album now. So where did you record it first?
Um, well, this record, I guess, in its whatever, in its large form, was recorded from January 2025 till May 2025 in a studio called Foxhole in Perth.
Okay.
There definitely were parts from demos and things that were recorded in various studios over the years, but yeah, most of it done in Foxhole in Perth.
Okay. Was it hot weather at that time?
It was January in Perth. It was like right now. What are we? What's
36.
yeah, we're January, right? So we're January 2026. Far out. It's like a year forward. It's 36 here today. It's really hot. It was hot in the studio. Yeah, hell yeah. And we were there for a long time. I think our producer Forrester was there for 3.5 months. Our assistant engineer, Owen Thomas, was there for, Jesus, nearly the whole 5 months. So yeah, it was an intense process to get it done, but we did it.
Yeah. 5 months actually. It's quite long because some bands are just recording 3 days or 2 days, and it depends on because many musicians have a home studio and they do all the pre-work before the final work in
Pre-production, yeah, yeah,
probably.
yeah.
Yeah, but then mean 5 months you spend 5 months and you play and repeat in the studios. Then mean okay,
Yeah, yeah,
okay,
we spent 5 months in there just laying it down, and I mean, it's just the way it kind of had to be. Um, yeah, took us what 12 and a half years to get to that point, and then 5 months to record it.
yeah. Okay, I would like to talk about the lyrics, but we have a very just 5 minutes left. So I was curious about one song, how Sora, meaning blue sky in Japanese, yes?
Hmm.
Okay. Um, is it a song about feeling trapped in a noisy, deceptive, and conformist world, while pop may sometimes appear, or it might be an escape toward poorer and more human life? Is that the meaning of this song, for instance?
Yeah, sure. That's a really beautiful way to put it. And yeah, that word that we've been using, hope, like across the record, there is hope, and then there's hopelessness as well. Like it's right in the middle there. But yeah, Azora, yeah, it's about feeling trapped, definitely. There are a few nods to some sort of conformist space there, but it's probably all being trapped in what we're trying to do. I think a lot of this record, now that I'm talking about it with people like yourself, I'm realizing that some of the themes and the reflection in the lyrics, I'm remembering a lot more about the process in its long form and the what it asked of everyone to complete this thing and to get it to where it needed to be. So yeah, a lot of reflection there, and
Yeah.
um, so yes, obviously we do have some opinions on how we see the world, and they do sneak in there, but that whole being waiting for the great escape. Um, it starts to form midway through the song, and then you get to the bridge and you start talking about if you ever get to see the outside, tell me there's hope within our reach. And then the actual end of the song, after the second part comes in, where there's a release where you're actually waiting for the great escape. It's the first time you hear the word Aazora in the back. And for me, that's really the bit where you kind of, you've made the great escape. You're starting to see the blue sky, that Japanese blue sky, that freedom. Maybe we've achieved it. So yeah, but I like the
Okay,
way
so
you.
what is your favorite song from this album, from the new release? I mean, and what is the date release? Because we don't have it yet.
The record comes out on February the 6th.
Okay.
Um, Favorite song? Uh, maybe Salva, the
Okay.
last
And
song.
why? Why?
I just think it's something new, something different. It turned out it became something much more than I thought it would be. Um, and some of the key moments in that song came very late in those recording sessions in early 2025. Like some really like poignant stuff came out and sort of allowed that song to come together. And the whole end section of that record, it really feels to me like this cathartic kind of win. I've been saying that in interviews recently. It's like a little summation of like, oh fuck, we did it, we finished. Like it's like this celebration. It's like, yes, finally we did it. I think it's a very fitting way to end the record.
Okay. We have just 1 minute left, and I know you're coming to play at the Bataclan on May 12th, right, in Paris.
Hmm.
How do you feel about playing in such a place as there was, as you know, this massacre in 2015?
Yeah, I guess first and foremost, it's just such a beautiful room. It's a beautiful venue. We played there for the first time. God, I can't remember. A couple of years ago, and that was after the sort of 2015 tragedy. Um, and it was such an amazing show. The people at that show were unreal. That the crowd. So we are very much looking forward to getting back there. Yeah, can't wait.
Okay, okay. So thank you very much, Kenny, and I hope to see you on the 12th of May at the Bataclan.
I'll make
Okay?
sure we say hello. Yeah, thanks so much, Martin.
Okay, thank you, and have a nice evening no, morning, evening. Yeah, evening
Evening for me,
for
morning
you.
for you.
Yes.
All right,
Okay.
well, you have a good day
Bye.
then.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. See ya.